Okay, everybody. Welcome back to another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we're going to be getting back into studying some more Pega. In this particular case, we're going to be going on to the Adding Optional Actions to a Workflow challenge. This is supposedly for 5 minutes. Um, Probably going to take us longer, but that's okay. Um, and because it's from what I saw, it seems fairly short. So either um, I'm going to move on to the module afterwards, or I may look into maybe trying to do some other things with this particular instance and seeing what I could do, right? So maybe restudy some of the uh, everything that has come before, to try to refresh everything that we've done so far. I mean, these are all options that um, could probably do. So um, now, obviously, for those of you that are watching Twitch right now, this doesn't really matter all that much. But for those of you that are watching on YouTube, you can probably skip ahead a little bit because I'm going to go over um, things that I've mentioned in previous videos. If you've seen in the previous videos, I should say. So first thing that I want to say is that I am not associated with Pega. I'm not being endorsed by Pega. They never really gave any kind of blessing. I never really asked for a blessing on this because the my objective here is to get the system architect certification and maybe even pick up the business architect certification as well. Business is not exactly my aim, but it's fairly similar to system, so I might try for both. We'll see. Um, but um, the um, I just wanted to let folks know that I have no association with Pega itself. Okay, this is my own choice on doing these videos, on doing these streams to study the missions, modules, challenges, topics, everything to do with Pega so that I can get certifications for it. So, seeing that was my last job, but wasn't able to get the certifications for it last time. So, I want to try to correct that mistake. Um, and hopefully get a better score than I did last time. Um, I also want to mention the fact that I don't consider me an authorized training partner. Like I said, I'm working on my first certifications. Okay, authorized training partners should already have theirs, or at least have a good majority of their certifications. One would think, right? Um, they know what they're talking about, or at least they should. Um, so don't consider me a trainer. Okay. There is instructor-led training that is given by Pega. One would hope that their instructor-led training was better than my particular training that I had. Um, because their instructor-led training, in my particular opinion, is a bit pricey. But let's face it. You're talking about a person that is potentially like training you 8 hours a day for who knows how many weeks, right? So one would figure that it's going to be a bit pricey. Um, so just kind of bear that in mind when if you want to go with the instructor-led training, you know, I would recommend doing that if you have the money to do so, because at least with that you'll be trained by someone in Pega Academy itself, or that's associated with Pega, And, hey, if you have any problems with the training, then you can actually voice them directly to Pega, or at least one would one would hope that you would, ask questions, you know, um, talk about confusing topics, um, just kind of explain, you know, uh, if there's anything that you find that is wrong, let them know, because at least with a Pega guided training, instructor-led training, one would hope that your feedback would go directly to the source fairly quickly. Now, I'm trying to do what I can, with my little, you know, suggestions that I do at the very bottom here, um, but that might fall on deaf ears too. So, you know, uh, I'm thankful that suggestions that I've made have reached out to someone and they've replied back on, um, quite a few of the suggestions that I made and, made adjustments for it. So I appreciate that. All right. But I just wanted to let folks know about that because I don't want them thinking that I'm an instructor. Okay. I'm just someone that is, computer science, bachelor degree, just looking for additional work. That's pretty much it. That's pretty much me right at this moment in time. So, um, and if I can get certifications in Pega Academy, then hey, I can get myself a job and you know, um, with another job with, you know, Pega development. I mean, I'm not going to say no to it, so, um, but okay. So, onto the challenge. So, adding optional actions to workflow. So, what is that? So, in this scenario, Insurance Corp wants to ensure that customers can cancel service requests at any time. To support co-production, the system architect configured the cancel request process for a citizen developer to leverage. Add the pre-configured cancel request process as a case-wide optional action to cancel assistance requests. Update the process to advance a case to the cancellation stage if the user elects to cancel their assistance request. So, we're going to go ahead and initialize the instance in this one. Go ahead and copy the username here. Now, as I always state, I don't use the walkthroughs, these video walkthroughs at all. The only time that I've ever actually used it is if the instructions aren't completely clear and I'm not quite sure exactly what they're asking. Then I may go through the walkthrough. So far, I've only done this once, if I'm not mistaken. And that was with the ending challenge, um, which, um, the problem with these challenges is that they only go over that small section of the challenge. So if you don't, if you're someone like me, for example, that needs reinforcement over time, um, these challenges unfortunately don't really do that for you. Okay, they're very short term, and that's it. That's all they can. That's all they do. Um, they don't reinforce past challenges, and it's kind of unfortunate. I really wish that they incorporated, previous challenges in, in this challenge. But, at the same time, I understand why why they don't. In that, if someone just wanted to kind of study, you know, this particular challenge and no other challenges, then why would they have to go through you know previous challenges as well? So I mean, I get why they don't, but it just feels to me like um, I could do more if the challenges were um, they kind of you know built from the foundation, so you can kind of continue learning some of the previous challenges, some of the techniques from those previous challenges, so that um, it becomes kind of like second nature. Otherwise, you're going to have to do that yourself. So bear that in mind, okay? If you're watching these videos and you're thinking to yourself, oh, hey, I'll be able to, relearn what I learned prior. No, that's unfortunately not the case. So it'd be nice if they did, but they don't. So, all right. So, so what we're doing is adding a cancel request to the process as a case-wide action. So in the navigation pane of the App Studio, click Case Types and Assistance Request to open the Assistance Request case type. So case type, and we're going to go for the Assistance Request. Okay, while it's working on that, in the upper right of the Workflow tab, so we're going to need to go to the Workflow tab, click Optional Actions to display existing optional actions. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to be looking in the upper left-hand corner here for the Workflow tab. Once it's done loading, see, this is one of the things that okay, we're in the Workflow tab. Okay, so we don't need to switch over to any of the other settings here. So we're going to go to Optional Actions. All right. In the Case-Wide Actions section, click Action, More, and Processes to display a list of existing processes. So, wait, hold on. In the Case-Wide Actions section, which is right here, click Action, More Processes. Okay, it got moved over to the other Action, More, and Processes. Okay. From the list of processes, click Cancel Request Select to display the process in the list of case-wide actions. Okay, so cancel request and select. Alright. In the upper right, click Save to apply the changes to Assistance Request case type. So we're not even changing anything on these right at this moment in time. Nothing in the information, nothing in the um, um, the user selection, you know, do they want to say yes or no? And then, of course, um, what happens based off of their choice. So, and we're just gonna go to save, and that's it for basically development of this, which I feel like once again they're not, based off of what they did already from the previous module, they're not really covering that much on this. Um, they're not really going over stage. They're not really going, over um, anything along those lines. And it's like, uh, they're basically relying on you to do the majority of the work. So, so just kind of bear that in mind when you're working on this, right? That you're going to be um, that you may need to put in more work on this than, or you may need to do your own challenge to kind of get the work done. Um, I'll get to my previous point in a little bit. I wanna kind of finish off the whole challenge first before I talk about something else here. So we need to confirm the work. We've already saved it. So in the assistance request case type in the upper right hand corner, click on save and run to run the new instance of the assistance request case type. So save and run. Okay. Choose any customer from the account ID list and advance the case past the identify vehicle view. Once it's done loading in. Okay, advance the case past the identify vehicle view. So we have to go past the identify vehicle view. So, um, okay, so now we're at this point, right? From anywhere in the case, click Actions, Work, Cancel Request. But we're not even at the point where I can even see the Actions menu right at this moment in time. So already not really seeing that at this point, even though technically, we're supposed to be advance the case past the identify vehicle view, which I did, but we have this enter payment information. So here, I'm going to make a little note of this here because I want to address that after um, After identify vehicle view is the enter payment information, which doesn't show the action menu to do step 3. Alright. Of course, it's loading, processing. Okay, and here we are, right? Now, if they had said something along the lines of, get past the um, after the create uh, after the create stage, you know, then you can, have access to the actions. Um, but okay, so from anywhere in the case, click actions, work, add work, cancel request. Okay, so add work, oop, add work, cancel request. Come on, cancel request. There we go. In the cancel request section, click yes, cancel my request. And then click submit. So it has to be resolved withdrawn at the very end there for the status, which it is. Okay, and that's it. Verified the challenge. There we go. Challenge has been completed. So I would, you know, um, I would mention to them that, they need to kind of change that phrasing a little bit um, on step 2 here after the confirming the work. Because, there's an additional step view after the identify vehicle view. So, um, for the payment information, and well, that's, not really that great. You're, I mean, you and I know that we need to get to the point where you can actually select the actions so that you can do the add work and cancel request, right? So the fact that um, the enter payment information didn't actually include that option, meant that we had to kind of continue to move past. But still, they really should have this be as accurate as they possibly can. So, okay. Now, um, we got about 20 more minutes. So, uh, we could see about um, maybe doing um, do something more along the lines of having like a stage action, or we could do um, we can kind of maybe go back through some of the other, um, well, I gotta be careful with this because, I said the preview, there's no, um, there's no processes, there's no steps that you can really work with here per se. Um, and well, I mean, you can go back to a life cycle and do that, I guess. I guess you can work on that if you really want to. Like, hey, I want to go down to the CSR here, and I want to change their release and their complexity. You know, just so um, we can do an estimate for that. You know, do those kind of things. Work on some of the past um, on some of the past steps here. Configuring the view, um, making sure that um, you kind of go through those kind of steps. Um, adding additional fields. Um, and checking, saying that hey, like card type, card number, and expiration date are actually required. You know, for example, right? Um, Maybe you want to add a goal, or deadline to it. So like, hey, goal or headline, we want to have, do we have an existing SLA? Seems that way. There we go. There you go. Or maybe you need to, create a custom SLA, right? You could try that too. You know, you have, you know, goal and deadline to work with, that you can mess around with, right? Um, let's see. Did they go over data model all that much? Not that much. Oh, am I having some trouble with my stream there, folks? Am I cutting in and out? I just saw the second another message pop up. Um, Typically indicating that my Twitch is kind of failing on me. So, okay. Um, I guess we're not going to move on to the next module, but I want to talk about something here a little bit, and that's one of the things that um, I um, it's just an observation that I'm kind of that I've noticed personally, but I mean, you can agree if you want or disagree if you want. This is obviously my own take on it. So I mean, if you feel that I'm wrong on it, you're welcome to um, explain to me why. Um, but I find that While I do appreciate the fact that they are using a lot of, um, you know, they based Pega, you know, the everything here, that you see, all the rules, everything, all the overview, the case types, the development of the case lifecycle, so on and so forth. It's all based off of Java, right? Um, that's their main programming language that they use to construct this. And um, and on one hand, um, I do appreciate the fact that, hey, you can do a lot of this work, from from the web. You can access the servers, and you can kind of get the work done, um, web-based and the like, which Java has been known to be fairly strong with, right? Um, but here's the thing. Um, I've often, you know, it's been my observation, which let's face it, I'm not you know an avid expert or anything along those lines. Okay, um, I've just seen what I've seen. Okay, um, which is that I often find that applications that are based off of such as like C++, I find them to be faster overall. They load in faster, they handle things quicker. Um, you know, um, they manage memory faster. Um, and not to say that there's, that like C++ doesn't have its own problems. It does. Um, because memory management is not easy. You know, a lot of people make mistakes on when it comes to memory management, when it comes to pointers, when it comes to um, you know, pointing to um, you know, memory locations, and you know, triple pointers, so on and so forth, right? People make mistakes with that, and it often creates um, some memory mismanagement along those lines. And I can understand them, a lot of people not really wanting to go down that road per se. But let's face it, normally when I look at a C++ program, I find it to be fairly fast, fairly efficient. They kind of get what they need done. Um, and I often feel like I really wish Pega, the base application that you can build a lot of this off of. I kind of wish that um, its foundation was more C++. I feel that it would be able to handle a lot of what they're trying to do faster and more efficient. You know, um, you wouldn't necessarily need to worry too much about load times all that much. Or at least maybe there would be. Like I said, I'm not a full on expert on this, but I mean, I just feel like like a C++ program would be uh, more efficient, than the Java-based program that they used to construct this. that's all. That's all I'm gonna say about the matter. Um, Obviously, it's pure conjecture because there is no equivalent, at least to my knowledge, to Pega in C++, to my knowledge. Um, so I don't really know. Um, I'd almost say, hey, you know, those of you at Pega that is designing this in Java, why don't you, take your base code, convert it over to C++, obviously handle all of the pointers, memory management, and so on and so forth, and compare the two. You know, obviously, you know, Pega will be able to handle the memory, um, or being able to kind of trash memory better. I mean, you have the trash collector that collects all the um, all the memory that is no longer in use, and that's obviously that's a strong point for Java, but um, which when you're trying to design an engine, um, you'd want to be, or at least one would think that you'd want to be have it as efficient as you possibly can, and therefore you'd probably want I would say uh, I would love to see a C++ version of Pega as a whole. I feel that that would um, give you a lot more strength, a lot more efficiency, and um, there wouldn't be as much downtime, as much loading. Now it could be minuscule, maybe. I don't know. Um, but it's just something that I consider. So I just kind of want to put that out there. Not that I will ever really reach Pega, because I mean, to them they already have the product, you know, and they're just kind of working on building that up into something um, that is um, used by multiple businesses and the like, and you know, good for them, obviously, it, you know, they'll use it for however they want to, however long they can, and make additions to it as much as they can to get it to work the way they want it to work. And obviously they're still making upgrades to it and the like, so um, I just don't really see it as completely efficient. That's all. All right. So that's going to be it. We're going to go ahead and close on down for this Pega stream here. Um, Again, sorry about that. My personal opinion on that matter. You know, um, Feel free to agree or disagree in the comment section if you're watching this on YouTube. I appreciate any feedback that you might want to give on the matter. Um, but, you know, I mean, if you can provide a very strong argument why it would be worse, then I would be willing to consider it. Let me know. You know, would it be worse if they actually did construct this in say like a language such as C++, you know. Um, you know, so, all right, but that's going to be it. We're going to go ahead and switch it on over to webcam only here. Got to sit on my hat here. All right. So tomorrow we're going to be moving on to the next module, um, which is automating workflow decisions. There's only decision points and a module quiz um, for that one. Um, we still got a lot to go through for the low-code app builder extended. So they estimate it to be 10 hours, 10 minutes remaining apparently, but it's probably going to be longer than that, based off of how much time that I spend on these particular modules. So um, so but hopefully you can join me on this and continue to um, get some amount of um, glean, a little bit of information out of these videos. I would, that's what I kind of hope for. Um, so, um, if you haven't already, check out the other videos on my Pega playlist. We're going to continue working through for these certifications, so go ahead and check that out if you would like. Um, but I would appreciate if you're watching this, do the, if you're watching this on YouTube, do the standard YouTube thing at the very end that a lot of people say, or they sometimes do it at the very beginning. You know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then um, I guess ask me. um, you know, but you know, uh, it's pretty much every single YouTube channel needs, you know, subscriptions, likes, sharing, so on and so forth to grow, right? You know, if they want to get to the YouTube partner program to start getting, to potentially get money through ads, you know, um, then that is, um, obviously all the YouTubers would appreciate that. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine too. No worries on that. You're welcome to check out the other playlists that I have. Um, I have one playlist for Unity programming, and I have multiple other playlists for all the games that I've streamed in the past as well. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. But that's going to be it for this video. So hopefully I'll catch you again tomorrow. But that's where we're going to go ahead and end it. So I'm stopping the recording right now.